Hi, I'm Mary Beth Stapleton, Family and Community Partnerships here with Mary Nasuda, who supervises our health services. Thanks for joining me, Mary.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
So we're here today to talk about attendance, which is super important for parents to understand the importance of attendance. And Mary, as supervisor of health services, really thinking about what parents need to know around attendance and making sure their children get to school healthy.
Well, attendance is one of my favorite topics, and that may seem ironic because school nurses are often the people who send children home from school. But our mission is to support academic success, and we do that by making sure that kids are cared for in acute and chronic problems through the day and by supporting good attendance. So school nurses, and there's a school nurse in every school building, are there to help kids be in school.
Great. And so thinking about that from a parent's perspective, we really do struggle at times with, especially post-COVID probably, when is it I really need to push my child out the door? And when is it, let's just keep them home and check and monitor? So some thoughts and tips and tricks for parents on that.
Yeah, those are hard questions early in the morning, I know, as we're rushing around. And I thank Stephanie Wall for putting together a graphic that gives us the top reasons why you should keep your child home from school. It isn't an all-inclusive list, but it gives us some guidelines. And the first one is fever. So that should remind everyone to have a working, reliable thermometer in their house before their child gets sick. And we ask that children who have a temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit or greater stay home until they're fever-free without the use of fever-reducing medicines for a full day for 24 hours. So you may be using Tylenol or Motrin at the beginning, but kids should be able to maintain a normal temperature without any medicine for 24 hours before returning to school. The next two symptoms are pretty self-explanatory: vomiting and diarrhea. 2 or more bouts, we should stay home for a full day until you don't have those symptoms any further or you've been cleared by your doctor. The next one is the one that makes people kind of emotional, and that one is live lice or increasing nits. So I know that lice cause a lot of emotion, but luckily they cause no disease. And so I ask that families start that treatment and keep their kids home until they have decreasing nits, no live lice. Parents can get rid of lice. You can get a lot of tips from your doctor, from your pharmacist, or from your school nurse so that you'll be able to get your kids back to school, and we want them back as soon as possible. And then the last one is those pink eyes, red eyes. Now, nurses, school nurses included, don't diagnose, but pink eyes can be caused by bacterial infections, viral infections, or even allergic conditions. So you do need to get to your doctor, get that treatment, and get cleared before returning to school.
So there are the ones that are the gray areas for parents in the morning. I know I've experienced them myself, mom of 4. Thinking about the sore throat, the runny nose, the sniffles and such, and a child saying, Mommy, I don't feel well, I don't want to go, right? So I think that could be something that with attendance, we might not be really quite clear on what to do. And we know that if a child misses instruction, it is really impactful. So what should we do?
Such a hard thing in the morning,
really
especially
is.
as you're trying to rush out the door. I always think about, is my child available for learning? If this is causing distress to a point where you don't think they're going to be able to really be able to be involved in the lesson, then I think a trip to the healthcare provider is a good idea. And you can always call your school nurse too. Let her know, didn't feel great this morning. Can you keep an eye on them? As long as they're fever-free, we want kids to be in school.
Okay. And just one more question that I think parents would wonder. When do we get that call from the school nurse? What are some things that would make the nurse want to kind of reach out and say, you really do need to pick up your child from school today?
Right. So those top reasons that we talked about obviously are a lot of the reason that we send children home. We also send children home for injury. And again, those illnesses that make them unavailable for learning. Even a bad case of like poison ivy, where a child is itching so much that they just can't attend a class. That would be a reason to go home as well.
Okay. And then thinking about attendance, just really the importance of that with health, really just thinking about one more message for parents around health and attendance and how important it is to really monitor getting your child to school.
So I have some tips, and the first one is to be ready the night before. So the night before is all about being prepared and promoting adequate and restful sleep. So being prepared can be as easy as making sure the backpack is right there at the door with your instruments and your athletic gear, all the things you might need, picking out an outfit the day before. before. All of those can make the morning smoother. The next part, the adequate sleep, is something that we're struggling with nationwide, getting adequate sleep for kids. Kids need at least 8 to 10 hours. School-age children under 10, closer to 10 hours of sleep. So once you've done that math, you need to create a predictable routine in your home. And that will really help kids' physical and emotional health. Kids need the predictability in their life. And so we ask that you create a structure like, reading a book and brushing teeth together for the younger kids. For the older kids, really making sure that we turn off electronics an hour before bedtime. This can promote much better sleep, and make sure that we make the bedroom a no connection zone, meaning no charging of iPads or phones or having a television in your room. All of those things will promote that sleep. Then the morning should be much better. You can start thinking about good nutrition, whether it be at school or at home, and then have a transportation plan. If your child can take the bus, have them take the bus. If you have a bus transportation available, kids who take the bus are more likely to get to school and not be late. And even being late can be really difficult for children because they struggle with not only missing instruction, but missing sort of that socialization at the beginning of the school day. So I really think the transportation can be helpful. And then in the afternoon, it's all back to homework again. And that means parent homework too. I want to thank parents for filling out all of those forms at the beginning of the school year.
Are you the reason they have to do all those forms? Now we know who to call.
And so thank you for filling out those forms ahead of time and letting us know about your child. Those forms really don't stop. So checking a child's backpack every day, and for high school kids, asking them, do you have anything that needs to be signed or reviewed or initialed? Because that will really help a child. And then we can start doing the teaching that we do always at home, hand washing. 20 seconds, running warm water or hand sanitizer if it's not available. Cough and sneeze etiquette, coughing or sneezing into a tissue or your elbow or your shoulder. That can be really helpful for decreasing those respiratory droplet spread, and even masking if it's appropriate. I also, of course, talk about good nutrition and sleep often because that will help a child's health. And then consider and talking with your healthcare provider about a flu shot and COVID-19 boosters. They can also keep us healthy through the school year.
Great. Well, thank you for all that you do. Thank you to your staff. I know they work so hard every day. I know as a mom, I've so appreciated my children's school nurse because they've been the front line, right, when they're starting to struggle. So I really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you so much.
Welcome back. I'm here with Melissa Stout, pupil personnel worker. Nice to see you.
Well, thank you for having me today.
And we're talking about attendance for parents and the importance of attendance, knowing, with post-COVID and trying to get our kids back in routines over the past few years, attendance is essential. So can you share first a little bit about what you do and then the importance of attendance?
Sure. Well, as a pupil personnel worker, I advocate for students. I work with students and families to assess any barriers they may have to having their child enrolled in school and to help them achieve academic success.
And part of that would be attendance. So you are an
Absolutely.
expert in this area, and we know attendance matters. So why is attendance so important for parents to understand, to really be a partner with the school to get their child to school every day?
Consistent attendance is paramount to having a child succeed in school. It's really important to their academic success. Students who attend school on a consistent basis tend to achieve at higher rates than their peers who don't. Attending school allows students to build positive peer relationships, feel more connected to their school. It also helps them develop lifelong learning habits and discipline. Students who attend school on a regular basis really helps them feel more connected to their school and wanting to come to school.
Right. And so thinking about that for a parent and really the importance of attendance, what are some things parents can do to really support their child in getting to school every day? I know we all struggle. 4 children, really tried over the years for different reasons to get them to school. What can they do? What can parents do to support?
Having a routine is paramount as a parent at night and also in the morning. Having children have some time after school to really decompress, get outside, get away from the screens, run around, get some of that energy out is really important. And then having that routine at night of laying out their clothes, putting all of their school essentials such as backpacks, musical instruments, all the athletic gear by the front door really will help allay that morning rush to get out the door. We want our students to not only attend school, but to attend on time and be prepared for school and be relaxed. Talking to your child about the importance of going to school. Why is it so important? If you have a job and you work, talking about your job is your work. That is what you need to do. A child's job is going to school. If you work from home, telling your child that you're taking care of all the things at home while they're at work is important. Just really helping that child understand it's important to go to school to learn and also to have friends and to make friends.
And really, those friendships really are, in some cases, are the reason why they want to go at times, right? They want to check in and be engaged with their friends. So that's a really great point. So thinking about how many days actually becomes a problem, right? So where is it where you start to get concerned as a PPW that, you know, we really have just too many days loss of learning?
Sure.
When is that kind of timing?
Sure. Anytime a child's missing school is important.
Okay.
And that can be critical depending on the child. In 180 days school year, 9 days is satisfactory. Missing 9 days of school is satisfactory. When we start getting up to the 10 to 17 days, that's a warning for this child being chronically absent. In 180 days, when a child is out for 18 or more days, they're considered chronically absent for the whole school year. And that's so critical because being absent that many days can have the child can have gaps in their learning and also have really poor academic achievement.
So thinking about that as a parent, you know, we struggle sometimes because we might be struggling with something at home, right? There's a health issue, a mental health issue with our child, and we may be hesitant to share that. So it sounds like maybe to be more proactive and work with the school would be a better way to go rather than just trying to keep it to yourself and say, you know, not really want to share what's happening.
Absolutely. Everyone at school wants the kids there.
Right.
The school and the parents, the school wants to be a partner with the parents.
Sure.
And working, depending upon what the struggle may be, working with the teacher, the school counselor, the principal, they're all ready and equipped to help a parent work through the struggle that they have and can provide strategies to help the parent get the child to school. If it may be more of a medical concern, the school nurses are a valuable resource and a wealth of information for parents.
Very good. Well, it sounds like it's a partnership that we really need to all work together to get our children to school, that we need to have communication between parent and the teacher and the school if there's a struggle. But there really is an important priority right this year to get our children to school.
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for your support of our children and really helping them be successful. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for joining us, parents. We'll see you next time.